There we go. That'll be odd. All right, so let me post this to the.
Steph R says first, so Steph R is the winner.
She is the winner.
Okay. My tablet's going.
All right, we're gonna do.
My coffee's brewing, so at some point I'm just gonna have to go and pour myself some. I'll do my best to eat my oatmeal off mic as I lean back toward the mic to chew.
As is tradition.
Yeah. So this is the middle of the day stream for everybody watching. I'm leaving Friday to go to Austin, Texas, to go to Longhorn Racing Academy to try to get over my fear of racetracks. As we discussed in the last podcast, I now have my very own helmet, which I will be using. And Tony Airlines will be coming along with. We will make a video, but it will be a GoPro style video because if I bring all my gear, I'm just going to go into filming stuff mode. So I wouldn't pay attention to the track, which is what I'm there. I'll be down in Texas to learn. Rec says, about to lift, bro, gym, but wanted to drop by and say hello and a dime. Thank you so much, Rec. I am going to the gym after this. Someone asked if we've done an Edsel. No. Nick did a documentary on the history of the Edsel.
I did.
But we've never actually driven one.
I completely forgot. I mean, I've done so many of them now that I forget the ones that I've done. So yeah.
Geo Sturber says, I got access to a Unimog 417. Do you want to drive it? Yeah, but again, logistics question mark. So send an email to regularcars@gmail.com. Put the year, model, city, state in the title of the email. In the body of the email, put your phone number and also a picture of the car. I read every single email I get, but I only save the ones that are formatted correctly. I can't respond to every single email I get, but rest assured that they are saved as long as they are formatted correctly.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like warmonger airsoft there. Don't want to be a whatever about it, but I sent you guys an email like in June. When can I expect to hear back? I mean, like you can expect anytime you want. I mean, not to be it's hard because we can't really respond to every email unless we're going to do your car, and we don't know if or when we're going to do that car. Right. So like if we're going to do your car, you might hear from us in a week, a month, a year.
Yeah.
Like, and it sucks to be able to, it sucks that we don't have time to actually like personally respond to the emails we get, but it's something where if we did that, we would have time to do absolutely nothing else with our day. So hopefully you guys understand.
Yeah. I'm happy, Shutterfly, that this podcast is helping you through tough times. We've been through them extensively, so I hope that this distance relationship you have with us is a positive and healthy one. Hello, Quinn Dickinson. Finally hit 200,000 miles on my Volvo S80. Long running joke that we're still trying to do. Quinn Dickinson's Volvo S80. Hope your dad's doing better.
Here.
Yeah. I am going to get coffee, and then we're gonna hold for sound.
Oh yeah.
And start the podcast proper for everybody on iTunes. Be right back.
Yeah. Until then, yeah, I didn't want to sound like a jerk either. Warmonger airsoft. I didn't mean to sound like that. I get the question a lot, and I feel bad every time I get it about when they can expect a reply, because I want to be able to say like yours is already in your inbox, but the truth of the matter is that we really don't get to respond to that many emails, and it's unfortunate. Hey, Tony Airlines in the chat. Nice to see you. Oh, and to Stefan R. Yeah, sorry, didn't realize you were a dude. We just see the Steph and we immediately think like Steph Schrader because she spells it the same way. But oh, I forgot the big announcement thing. It's that we are now on Spotify officially. So if you just type in regular car reviews, we should pop up along with my album and my Christmas single from 2 years ago. So like those are all the things that will pop up if you type in regular car reviews. Also, there are some fan made playlists that are songs that have either been like referenced on the show, that have been like parodied on the show, that were from the days before we were monetized and Brian just sort of used whatever song he felt like using. And so those are some really cool playlists that I would recommend checking out. So yeah, definitely go on Spotify, check out regular car reviews, and just enjoy whatever you find. Also, the Roman on that is because my artist name is the Roman. There's another artist named the Roman, so sometimes like our tracks cross over, but the other Roman isn't me. The Roman that's me is the one with this face. Um, and yeah, but moving on. It's very good, and we should be back up on Google Podcasts uh, today, depending on organizational things. But somehow, like I don't know, the thing lapsed, so it is what it is. But yeah, come on back.
Yeah,
Well,
Mr. Sarcasm. Tio Santino, you just had your cup of coffee in the big time. I was watching that the other day, and I'm like, this man is a comedic genius.
yeah, and it's
not
all,
even facing the camera, turning away. You just had your what is a cup of coffee in the big time? It's not anything.
No, it's okay. So like if you held a world title for, well, it's a colloquialism that's in sports where he spent a cup of coffee in the big leagues, which he was there for like 5 minutes, long enough to drink a cup of coffee. So yeah, it's and yeah, Macho Man. What was crazy to me is that like, okay, all of wrestling today is scripted.
Yeah.
But Macho Man was doing this off the dome.
Yeah.
Like he's just going in there just so I can't even like
it was like it was like a moment for him to like collect the next sentence.
Yeah.
Like, in the middle of a sentence. Like
the yes, the uh-huhs.
He names where the city is. So it's the plug. 200,000 people watching. Yeah. You gotta go. Oh, it's really low. I gotta like try to practice this because I can do the gravelly voice. But if you can do the macho, you gotta go louder.
Yeah.
It's like was his first rival was Tito Santino.
Santana. He won the Intercontinental title from him.
Intercontinental, like cuts off every syllable of the word.
Yeah,
Intercontinental.
Very choppy in a good way. So I guess
you'd have to do cycles to have arms like that, though.
Yeah,
you just see him, and it's not like a wide angle lens when he's getting later. It's like, holy crap, those are huge arms. Anyway.
No, it's
hold for sound.
All right, yeah.
Oh, sweating.
Yeah, so
it's summer today. Global warming.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to RCR Podcast number 68, Almost Nice. I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
And we are here today to just basically talk about things because tomorrow I have New York Comic Con until Sunday. And then you are leaving on Friday to go learn how to not be afraid of racing.
Yes.
And it'll be, we'll both come back with stories to tell. But Monday,
the key of a good relationship: do things apart from each other. That way you can talk about stuff.
Here. But the Monday video is an RCR stories, and then Wednesday, depending on like if I can get on my hustle, I might be able to put up my New York Comic Con video because I think in a general sense, the earlier the better for those.
Get that SEO.
Yeah. But
so. For new people who are coming, because this is in an earlier part of the day, normally we're doing this in the evening. We will answer every single super chat we get at some point. We will have to say no more super chats. We usually have a big sign for that. So that's how we'll do it. We'll be taking breaks from super chats as the show goes on. Usually we get sidetracked and then we'll get back to them. But since what happened today? Today, the Falcon was making a weird grinding noise. And I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. I thought it was the drive shaft because that's where the grinding noise came from last time. When the drive shaft would rub in the drive shaft tunnel, because now it has a larger drive shaft, so there's less clearance. I'm like, okay. And this was down when Tony Airlines and I were with Tony's friend from Facebook, and they were working on his Honda Beat, changing the timing belt. So I just put more air in the rear air shocks and pumped the butt of the Falcon up, and I'm like, all right, that probably stopped it. It created more clearance, and I thought that was it. And then as I'm making it again, it's like, wait a minute, that wasn't it. So I was driving it around today, and in fact, I met the I think the district attorney that you met when you fought your ticket up at the courthouse. I kind of mentioned it, but I didn't mention that you showed up. And because I don't know if it was him that day. Was it a guy with a salt and pepper mustache and kind of a dad belly?
I can't recall offhand.
All right.
All I remember is being super relieved because the officer never showed up, so I just got off.
Rob was like, I'm not taking this day off. Small town police. It's like you kind of know everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, but whoever our district attorney is for this area, I met him, and he turned out he had 3 Falcons growing up. So see, I pulled around in the courthouse. This is such a small town story. I pulled around in the courthouse lot because that was the biggest one nearby where I was, and I knew no one was there because it was like the afternoon. But sure enough, Jim, the district attorney, was coming out. Jim went to high school with my Aunt Cindy and also knew my mom and my dad.
Oh, wow.
So we just talked for like 20 minutes, and I completely forgot to diagnose the Falcon. So I ended up then driving to the middle school to because it only made it in hard left turns. But then it sometimes did it on the straightaway, and I can't figure out. I'm looking at the things, and then I'm like, wait a minute. We moved the helper springs, the add a leaf springs, and they themselves have a clamp on the existing leaf springs. So I'm like, well, there's not a whole lot of clearance on that side. And I looked to the driver's side on the rear, and holy shit, that piece of metal was touching the wheel and had ground a groove into the inside of the wheel. And it wasn't deep. And I saw it appeared and disappeared. So it was kind of like lathing the inside of the wheel. And I'm like, oh boy, that ain't good. So it only took it down like you'd need a feeler gauge how little it was, but it did, of course, chew off all the powder coating there on the inside. So I'm like, well, I could call Moyers and have them bring the flatbed on with AAA. I'm close enough to home. I can just drive home. I've been driving this way anyway. So I drove back, and it going all the way back. Go to my parents' house, and this is what I did today. I just parked it last night. Go to my parents' house because I still don't own a floor jack. Like, I have not yet run into a situation when I can't go to my parents and grab the floor jack. They're $109 at Harbor Freight for a really nice one.
Yeah.
So best Chinesium metal. So I'll go to Harbor Freight, and people are going to probably send super chats and fucking buy a floor jack already. Quit borrowing other people's. But anyway, I went to my parents' house, borrowed the floor jack, borrowed the good angle grinder that's over there, because mine's a Ryorbi battery powered, which I'd use up all the batteries. So I go over there, eat food, do half of my laundry, drive back here, and then spend like 15 minutes with the grinder, wheel off, car up on the jack, no jack stands, I'm sorry, and just down this clamp because there's enough metal there. Yeah. Like I could have ground in a whole 1/8 of an inch off of that and it wouldn't have mattered. Ground it down. Now it has plenty of clearance. Put the helper spring back on, drove around, and that was it. And then I went to my parents' house and told my mom, hey, I saw District Attorney Jim. So we had I knew this and I remember this and I remember that stories
Yeah.
for a while, and that was good. And then my dad still has his 1990 Toyota Cressida that some of you may have seen at the Radwood, Jersey. Um, uh, and it's in both our interests to keep that car looking good. So we did a wash and uh, a like a detail spray on it, and because I had to come here, we didn't have time to like full wax it.
Yeah.
So, but it's looking good. Dad's gonna be buried in that car. It needs it needs a whole new front seat, like, or at least to have it reupholstered or something, because the foam is back down to the foam. It's down to the foam. It's they're running out of part of the seat that is the cover. So you're just like sitting on foam in that seat. It's trashed.
Yeah.
So then my dad complained about my Uncle Jim for a while, uh, and which is a whole nother can of worms. Dad talked about airplanes. He still wants to meet Tony Airlines, and they'll probably run into each other.
Can't believe they haven't run into each other. They were both at the meet.
Right?
Yeah. I should have. I should have. If I hadn't known, I would have been like,
Yeah.
Tony,
Yeah.
meet.
Meet. Yeah.
Talk airplanes.
Airplanes.
Because they both have forgotten more than I'll ever know about airplanes between them.
Right. Um, we do got to do airplanes again. It's just it's a challenging logistical thing to film an airplane
Yeah.
because you have to have permission from the airfield and all this sort of stuff. So it's not as easy as people like. If you want to do it and be kind about it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um,
Even
I have a bunch of songs, even though I still didn't see Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood.
Hollywood, right? I still have a bunch of songs from the soundtrack, and that's added to Driving the Falcon music.
Ah, nice.
So, and I'm sad to say that I did not know about Ramblin' Gamblin' Man by Bob Seger until I heard the soundtrack. I'm like, God damn, Quentin can pick them.
I mean, that's kind of like the part of the point of his soundtracks is that
Yeah.
in the same way that he will take dead careers and resurrect them, you know, that he'll do that with music, introduce people to new things. But the thing that I'm super hooked on right now is the Ken Burns documentary on country music. It's an 8-part documentary. I'm waiting for part 8. It's all on PBS, or basically the PBS app, which I've been using, and it's where I, it's where I got the idea to do Wagon Wheel for Mondays. But it's like the stories are so just nuanced, and each part is feature length, like minimum an hour 52 minutes. It's fantastic filmmaking, as it always is with Ken Burns, but you come out of it with this deep abiding love for country music, which I already really enjoyed, but like I didn't really know why. Like, and I realize now that it's because modern music doesn't really tell stories anymore.
True.
And that's what I try to do with like my music sometimes. Like if you look on the RCR album, each one of them tries to tell a story. And the same with the Christmas songs, they're trying to tell a story rather than just like the modern thing of like, we're here, we're young, let's party until the sun comes up.
Yeah.
Or the other thing, which is like the cliche of every romance song talking about how love is a game. Love is an adjective game.
Yeah.
Love's a crazy game. Love's a wild, dangerous game. You never know a game like this. We gonna play. But I've been listening to the soundtrack to that documentary, and it has like just all these different generations of country music, from Hank Williams to Hank Jr. to Tammy Wynette to George Jones to the great, which I loved from listening to K Rose on GTA San Andreas, the duets with Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty, because they have these great, just wonderful duets. Like As Soon As I Hang Up the Phone, which is just this thing of a guy like trying to get this woman to take him back, even though, you know, but it's taking place over phone call. So it's this, I don't know. It's weird. And then George Jones has a song called The Grand Tour, which is just him giving the listener a tour of the empty house where he and his wife used to make a home with their family. And it's because like she left him, but in that, like Bill Burr has a whole bit about this that talks about how, wait a minute, so over there is the chair where you used to bring it, and just ahead is the bed. And like, but then you get to the nursery and the baby's gone, and he notes that all of her things are still there. And so it's like, what did you do to this woman, George?
Yes,
Like,
yes,
she clearly fled. She didn't
yeah,
decide to leave you. It was
yes,
in the moment. I'm taking the baby and we're getting the hell out of Dodge. Like,
yeah.
we're leaving
That's
tonight.
creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's not the only country song like that, because a lot of it involves, you know, the immediacy of the woman leaving,
Mhm.
of it's this urgent thing, and then you have this duality of how, like, all of Tammy Wynette's songs, or this juxtaposition, all of Tammy Wynette's songs are mostly about like standing by your man and being faithful, and
Uh-huh.
yet she's been like divorced like 6 times.
Right.
And all of Loretta Lynn's are like, I'm not putting up with any of this BS. If you do one more thing, I'm out of here. And she stayed with like the same man for like
Oh.
ever. So it's this funny thing of like all these different contradictions in country music,
Hmm.
and the extent to which some of these things are like characters that people are putting on, but in other
Mm.
ways it's a more authentic style of music for its time. And
Mhm.
even now, even in
Mm.
this like weird country pop thing, I know when we went to Nashville, we listened to a lot of like weird, I think I heard like the same four songs like a million times in that one bar where we had the hot chicken.
Yeah.
And
It
yeah,
was pop country.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
pop country, which
Yeah.
I'm not here for it.
Oh, my grocery store, they turn it to the country. Like in like Pennsylvania, there may be one or two country radio stations that can come in. I think it's like Cat Country 105 or something like that comes in, but it's all the Nashville sound. It's all in, uh, insipid, shallow. There's it's the country equivalent of like Van Halen. There's
Ah,
a, instead of girls, cocaine, and convertibles, it's pickup trucks, God and
yeah.
Jesus and
hot
God and
hot
love and
girl, cold beer.
yeah, yeah.
It's just, yeah, Bo Burnham has a great bit on that too about country music, like breaking it down right into like the key change and
Mm.
all this other. It's a great bit on country music, but um. Oh, Matthew Churchard notes that, and I actually have this saved. Is that if you go on Google, or I mean YouTube, and if you play Jolene by Dolly Parton at half speed, it becomes a completely different song that's almost like almost BB King esque, and it's
Oh,
so badass. It's awesome.
I wonder if somebody already did like a true vaporwave slowdown, like an Audacity, where pitch changes down and there's no chopping.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would be cool. I mean, probably sounds great.
Oh, I listened to. No one has done it yet correctly, which means I'm probably going to have to do it. But that one song called "Obsession," maybe Human League. You're my obsession.
Oh, no,
Obsession.
that's Animotion,
Okay.
not the Human League.
Oh,
But the song title's right.
that. Thanks. I know because yeah, it was on Vice City soundtrack,
No, no,
but
no.
it's
Yeah, that's
still.
why I know, and also because it used to be the theme song to Saturday Night's Main Event with for
Oh.
WWF, and with the Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah,
Later, weirdly became Macho King.
yeah, he did,
Didn't
because,
quite roll off the tongue.
well, because like that was back when like the King gimmick was like a sexually transmitted disease where you had it, and it didn't really actually help anyone.
Mm,
Like Harley Race was a badass long before he got the King gimmick. Haku was a bad like Haku is the one wrestler, like, even now, 20 years retired, if I were in a back alley brawl and
yeah.
I got to choose like four people,
Yeah.
like I'd go with, from professional wrestling,
Yeah.
I'd go like Brock,
Well, yeah.
freaking, I'd just go Brock and Haku. Those are the only two guys you really need. Like, like Haku, like tore someone's teeth out of their mouth with his bare hands. Like, this was the baddest man on the face of the earth. Like, this is a guy who, you know, neither Liam Neeson nor Chuck Norris would cross. And
Wow.
now he sells cars. That's his retirement
Oh.
career once he couldn't wrestle anymore.
Huh.
But I still have every confidence that he could, take my life with a batting of the eyelashes.
Was uh, wait, so the Macho Man, he started as a heel but then became a face?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like a kind of, he kind of became a face by just being as cool. Like, there's he became a face organically,
Okay.
which is the best way to do it. It's kind of the way Steve Austin did it, which is that you follow what the crowd wants.
Mm.
So after a while, like the big turn for him was when the honky tonk man laid his hands on Miss Elizabeth, and oh, the Macho Man wasn't having it. You can't touch Elizabeth in kayfabe or in real life. And suddenly, and then the honky tonk man and the Hart Foundation like messed him up,
Mm.
and Hulk Hogan came to the rescue and they did the Mega Powers handshake. But yeah, oh, 1989 was so good for wrestling and possibly in general. I don't know. I don't remember enough about the year, but yeah.
89. I was in first grade. That was when it was still real. Like people
Yeah.
would, yeah. And on that note, speaking of real things, people have been giving us real money. Slid right into that segue.
That is a sweet segue. I feel like we are missing out on. I think we'd be really good reading ad copy because there are so many podcasts where they sound like they don't really use the product. I feel like I could convince people that I really use the product. It's like, man, if you go to Audible right now, I've been listening to this book throughout all of my drives. I would not be able to get through any of my drives without Audible providing me with the Stormlight archive. And I'm telling you guys, if you even have a remote interest in fantasy, you have to check this book out, and you can only do it on Audible. Promo code, blah blah,
Yeah,
you know, that type
yeah.
of thing. And then you sound like really enthusiastic. But yeah, I don't know.
Village Idiot, thank you for your donation. It says, I always love RCR stories. I know you deal with copyright photos, the risk of copyrighted photos. Have you tried using Photoshop filters to bypass that stuff? You'd almost have to blur the entire photo because YouTube's algorithm is good. It's not enough to just blur out the copyright sign on the filter. You'd have to like zoom in really far, and so the kind of footprint or pattern of the photo isn't visible.
Well, we've been fortunate so far in the sense that like my whole goal with RCR stories was if it were up to me, there wouldn't be any visual accompaniment at all. Because it would be a million times. Oh, this happened
again.
Yeah, no, I mean you just pop it back and it's good. I
Thank
added
you.
chamomile in this to see if it tastes any different. Because I didn't have any cinnamon this time. I don't know why you replaced one with the other, but basically, what ends up happening is I said, well, if I'm going to do visual accompaniment for this, the only things that I'm going to use are stuff that were in previous videos of ours, like maybe point of view drives if it's
Right.
relevant, or things that I find from rights free image hosting services. And then if I have to get, like, for instance, like, I had a connection with someone from an auto museum who had full written permission to give us all of their photos for the Lee Iacocca story,
Okay.
as long as we shout out, did the shout out. And then everything else, I go to Wikimedia Commons and it has like the step by step for how to cite it, and I put the photograph citations in the video
Mm-hmm.
so that everything's cited, everything, you know where to get it, you know where it is. If anybody has a problem, they can contact us. And, if it comes to it, we'll just like block out that like part of the video because the YouTube like studio editor allows you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it, like the RCR stories that's going up on Monday, yes, it's an extended version of the Dale with information that has since like I didn't know before, and stuff that I wanted to retell the story. And see, like this is because I'm still thinking in terms of like my college fiction writer self, of that I want to give character arcs to real people. And the thing about arcing a character is that I think the first tale of the Dale was just sort of, this is who they are, this is what happened. Yeah. But
Right.
I didn't really get into like who these people were. And I got like way more insight into who these people were so that you understand almost why this happened, but also the sort of imperative that brought them to this point. Because there are multiple characters in this story, each of whom played a critical role in this scandal becoming what it was. And to this day, I still don't understand how this story isn't like a proper, like,
Right.
fictional, you get like a cast or somebody. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's one of my favorite stories in automotives, and it's something that is worth telling in a more broad story. I mean, this is almost like an hour long, and so I don't know. It's on Monday, and hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just wanted to go more in depth than I did the first time. So
Yes. That'll be Monday.
you're
Itchy
here.
and Scratchy movie. No. 40% original content. No, but it's good that more things have come out, and now you'll be able to hear. Now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Ah,
I
lost
mean,
my place here.
like the ending doesn't change, but
Right.
it's still, I feel like there's more to it and more like twists and turns. So in getting there, so
Cake from State Farm says spot flick short slicks rot hicks. Don't know what that means,
Atangated.
but thank you for the
Thank you so
donation.
much.
I don't know exactly know what that means, but
Hopefully, someone in the comments can
yeah.
explain. I'll keep an eye on them.
Yeah, people a wrench every day says, how in tarnation do you not own a floor jack? Floor jacks just sort of orbit into my place when I need them, and then they go away again.
Oh,
It like 5 years have not owned a jack. One just they always just materialize, or someone has one. All I got to do, Harbor Freight is like 20 minutes that way. Just go get there, spend a yardstick, and come back. And now you have a jack, and you don't have to hunt for one. But normally, when there's a problem with my car, I'm half the time I'm at Bruce's, and the other half I'm at Justin Kramer's, and we're well beyond floor jacks. The thing's going up on a 2-post lift.
remember the first video I ever narrated for RCR was about auto repair
Oh, when we were working
when
on
we
the
were
fit?
working on the fit,
Yeah.
and the big comment on that one was, "Oh my god, why are you not using a jack stand?" And that was like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, I still don't own jack stands either.
But I mean,
and
like,
I can buy all of these things at Harbor Freight.
yeah, it's just like
This is not a plug for Harbor Freight, but people who work on cars, even professionals, is like, I'm not spending $200 on a jack stand. It's a piece of metal.
yeah. Oh, and they're saying that the last super chat was a vague reference to hot dicks.
Oh.
And also, I am screenshotting this one because this guy did his super chat wrong, so I want to be able to answer his question later.
Okay. Rafael Varga just says dealerships have the best oil, which I think you wanted it in that voice. Thank you so much for €2. Very kind of you. Matthew Churchard. Awesome. This is in pounds. Hi, lads. You guys have the Nissan Juke over there? Indeed, we do. That'd be a good one for you to murder. Also, the Roman is my guitar hero. Take care, boys.
Thank you.
There's a point of view floating around when I had a Nissan Juke, but I never really got into the car. I didn't see it as that much of a utilitarian vehicle, but some people really like them. So eventually we got to do it. Zach Heilman says, adding extra R's to words, a PA thing or a Mr. R thing? It must be a PA thing. And I don't even know when I'm doing it.
Neither do I.
Are you going? Are you going? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is kind of, it may not be an R, but an
Yeah.
That's going on. Oh, Zach Hellman. The example is Bavarian. Oh, that's just me being an idiot. Oh, Tony Richardson. I didn't catch you at a normal channel. He says, and you got to learn about VORs too. Yeah, I told Tony how my dad was complaining about the FAA and how I made this whole flight plan and then I get in the air and then that's not how my dad sounds, but he was complaining about how he got up in the air and the FAA says, you're not going where you think you're going. I'm sending you there. And then you can go to that VOR marker or beacon, or I don't know how it works. You go there, not there. I'm the boss. You go there.
Yeah.
So that was what my dad was talking about. I was telling Tony about it. Chris McCarthy, thank you for your donation. Hey guys, I was at Radwood, Detroit in my 1987 Aerostar. Good times. Was there a car at Radwood, New Jersey that you were shocked wasn't there? Yeah, Neon Highline. I didn't see one there.
I was expecting to see a tourist show, and not even there wasn't even a tourist around. I'm pretty sure there was at least one or two shows there. SHO at at Radwood, Jersey. Um, mm, nice. Spicy. Nick's tea.
Yes.
And there was a car at Radwood, New Jersey. Yeah, a lot of more Euro stuff than I thought. Kind of want to see like a Honda Today, which was my favorite car that I saw at the Lane Motor Museum. But I thought I saw like finding those regular neon Highlines. Man, if I had a bigger garage, I'd find a really nice one of those things. The actual Team Ryan. Hello, familiar name. Got to head to work, bring back the weird, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Your money will be well spent on our travel budget. Wrench Every Day asks regular cars, can love be a tabletop role playing game? I don't have the patience for those types of games because I don't like activities where I sit. Because I sit for my work. I sit in my chair over there.
Yeah.
When I want to do fun things, I want to be moving around.
Yeah. Now, if it were a game of like physical risk of just like
Sitting down.
no, I mean like a game of risk, but it's a giant risk board and you physically have to move around. But then you're just playing the final round of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Yeah.
I want an adult playground. They kind of have one over at the Blue Mountain Resort, which is the ski area in the summertime.
Well, I mean, Extreme Air is basically an adult playground because half the people jumping on the trampolines are adults like me. But mostly because it's like, well, my nephew doesn't have any siblings that are his age.
Right.
And it's not like I'm going to, go pick up his friends. It's like I'm not going to go pick up kids I don't know and be responsible for them.
Right.
I'm barely responsible for me.
Yeah.
Like
I've done it myself when I was little. And then occasionally as a substitute teacher, like in substituting sixth grade, where you see two youngsters not running and not looking where they're going, and two heads go bonk.
Oh,
and they make that wood sound where you hear, or it sounds like a cue ball hitting something. You ever that unearthly sound of two skulls hitting together?
It's almost like a perfect knock.
Yeah.
But the thing is, okay, this actually happened to me last week. I was walking to the gym, right? And there were a bunch of, I guess it was an early release day for the school because it was like 1 p.m. and the streets are teeming with like fifth and sixth graders. And I would know because I went to the school that they went to, and I know that they're early dismissal. The first thing the kids do are go to all of the local businesses and just like sort of peruse around and probably get lunch somewhere. But anyway, like I saw there's this group of like 9 or 10 kids, and one of them throws the other to the ground, and then everything freezes as like the kid is on the ground crying, and I'm on the other side of the street, and I'm just like over there trying. I'm thinking like, do I go over there and say something? Do I say, what's the problem here? Do I need to call somebody, this, that, or the other thing? But then the other side of me is like, these are not your kids. If you say or do the wrong thing, it's easier to say it was that guy or that. Like, I hate thinking like in a litigious way of where I'm expecting that things are going to go badly for me if I do the bare minimum good Samaritan thing. But it's kind of like, luckily no less than 2 minutes after that, like this adult gets out of his like Infinity G37 and walks over, but like he gives me a quick side eye and just like like, and I don't.
You're not gonna do anything.
Either that or freaking kids.
Oh,
like
okay.
I couldn't really read the look, but he was much more like he looked like a gym teacher. He looked like a proper adult. Like I don't feel like I give that proper adult energy. Like you can, because I've heard your like teacher voice and your like this is you will listen now. And but I don't have that. It's just I wish I could kind of, I don't know. I feel like I could if the situation called for it, but I was weighing the possibilities of whether or not the situation actually did in fact call for it. But eventually, like, the guy just waited with the kid and the kid seemed fine. I mean, it's just, and the other kids just walked away. And so it makes me wonder if, like, maybe that was the kid's dad, maybe it was like some other situation. But all I knew was that I was weighing the positives and negatives and thought, like, there's so many more ways this could go wrong if I get involved. And I don't want to be like that, but
Right.
it's the nature of the society we're in that, like, I don't want to risk saying or doing the wrong thing
Right.
because I know me.
Right.
So yeah.
It sucks. Like, I had a moment earlier this week. I was going to a CVS 2 towns up, and I rode I rode my Suzuki there. I bought a jar of earplugs so I
Yeah.
can have fresh earplugs for my flight.
Ooh,
Fresh.
swapping them out.
They haven't even gone through the laundry yet. And I forgot how fresh earplugs work better than ones that are a year old.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk? Anyway, so I'm there back in the bike. I haven't put earplugs in yet. I have my helmet on, and then I hear the sound of a teenager yelling. And it's that sound where your voice is broken yet, but the throat is still young, so it's not a man's voice yet. But the kid's trying to make his voice into a man's voice. I'm like, huh. So I turn around and I see at the Sunoco on the next block, because like the block I was on was just all parking lot, so I could see over to the Sunoco. And it was some teenagers having a teenager shouting fight. Like, no one's making a move to swing,
Yeah.
but it's a whole bunch of chest puffing and dick holding and like one guy on a bike, like on a single speed like BMX bike, like riding just outside of someone else's like guard or reach. And I'm like, my first thing, I went to my phone and started filming it because I'm like, this is teenager anger, and I remember how perfect and blue and lightning strong that is.
Yeah.
Like, it's an old adage that when someone is at their angriest, they're also at their dumbest. There is zero net gain for me getting involved with whatever this is. It's probably nothing, probably a lover, or you pushed me, or they do that when kids want to get into it, but they don't want to get into it. So they do that accidentally on purpose shoulder hit as they walk by somebody. That move that was in all 80s movies.
Yeah.
Still happens.
Still happens. Happened to
And
me.
it's effective. It pisses the other guy off because it pisses you off because it's always an accident.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're in this parking lot yelling at each other, and I'm with some other adult who always like who can't. I hate it when I run into another adult and I already know they're trash just by the way they introduce themselves. And the guy said, coming up to me, I'm looking at it, I'm filming it. He comes up and he goes, "The fuck's happening over there?" I'm like, great. I can't count on you for anything. Like, I will not ask you to pick up a leaf.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know, probably some teenager thing. And then it's that move where like the kids' friends are also there, but they're also far enough away that they can feign ignorance. They're not really part of this, but they want to see something happen too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually someone goes back inside. The guy who was shouting goes back inside the Sunoco. So I get on my bike and then just think about it for the rest of the ride. And then I ride to Boscov's and buy fresh socks.
Nice.
And have fresh socks on the plane. Like each set of socks that I will put on for this trip, each one will be new.
Brand new.
Because I know I'm going to sweat a lot because it's like 93 degrees down there still.
Yeah.
They're having a hell of a time in Texas. This heat wave.
It was, I mean, with the thing about those teenage arguments is that even when nothing happens, that's like 2 to 3 weeks worth of stories in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
That gradually get distorted in the retelling.
Yeah. Because then, like, if they're lucky, they go to different schools.
Yeah.
But if they're not, you got to go back to school with this idiot. Yeah. He's there, you're there.
All of a sudden, like, he might try to get that girl you're into just to mess with you.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want to. Nah.
I do. All I miss about high school is marching band and English class with Mr. McCormick and speech class with Ed Palomar, Mr. Palomar. I can call him Ed now because I substituted for him a lot. Anyway, so we got Nissan Juke, extra R's, Radwood, got to head to work, keep up the good work. Question that Nick answered earlier. Victorious, good afternoon. Are you guys in Spotify?
Yes, we are now. I didn't answer it once we started rolling for iTunes, but yes, we are officially on Spotify now, finally. And I'll hopefully have the Google Podcast situation sorted after we're done doing this now. So hopefully later today we'll be back up on Google Podcasts. I think I just let something slip, because it's hard to keep track of everything. So yeah.
Victorious also says, any chance to upload the RCR stories as audio only? Yes, I believe they're on iTunes.
Yeah,
but he wants them on Spotify.
Yeah, well, I mean, Spotify should have our back catalog.
Because they take the RSS feed?
Yeah, it's the RSS feed.
Okay.
So it should be all on there in theory. Mondays is not going directly on Spotify just because I want to give it some time to get do whatever it's going to do on YouTube first, because that's where, it's not like we're getting any money from the podcast. But what was that noise? It was just some truck going by.
Oh yeah,
windows open.
Yeah, the windows open because it's
hot. Yeah, you can tell from like the little sweat that I got going on. Yeah.
I am also going to shave my chest.
Oh yeah?
I also shaved my pubes in preparation for Austin, just in case. Because I know we're going to go to a bar or two. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Could be a guy, could be a girl, could be a they. I don't know. I'm open to suggestion. All I know is that there's going to be Torchy's tacos somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to eat nothing but Tex-Mex. Shit 5 times a day.
We went there with Steph.
Mm-hmm.
I ate way too much. I mean, I ate just enough, but at the end of the day, I was just like, this was a mistake.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time thinking when I sit.
I can't wait to make this mistake again.
Yeah, like I got to go to Torchy's, get like 2 tacos and a beer, eat them. They're going to be amazing no matter what I get. But then I just got to sit. I got to like have a water, take like 20 minutes. Do you want a third one? You can always get them to go. That's another thing. I take 2. You're going to want a third, but get the third to go. Eat it in the hotel room later. Like,
nah.
It can't really be a midnight snack because it turns into poo really fast. All right, where was I here? Someone just wrote an essay. Someone repeat. Iced ink. Are you it? Skiing in Colorado. All right. Huracan Ian or Hurricane Ian? I sent you an email about doing the Huracan. If that is a Lamborghini Huracan and everything, I'm sure you get people full of shit just wasting your time, but I promise you, the letter U, that I got like 4 cars that you, letter U, haven't done yet. I don't remember getting an email about a Lamborghini Huracan, if that's what you're talking about. Please take your email and bump it. Like if you're hearing me right now, take your email and just reply to that email and just say bump. So that when I check my email after this, before going to the gym, I can do that. Now, if you're way far away, that'll be a challenge. If you're in SoCal, that's kind of a challenge too. But anything's possible. Please bump that email, though. I'm interested. And thank you so much, Ian, for your generous donation. We got Ben here with a question. Any plans to ski in Colorado this winter? Yes, I will be skiing at Copper Mountain. Sometime in February. I was supposed to get in this group rate with a bunch of people who got a bunch of cabins out there, but I didn't get chosen. Like you have to apply for it. And The only person I know is Foster, and he got in last year, but he vouched for me, but whatever. It's like, I don't know. But it'll be getting the group rate is going to save me about $100.
Huh.
So, but I could get an Airbnb like outside of town. So, and just I'm going to have a rent a car anyway because Copper Mountain's nowhere near Denver Airport. Like this is my me trip in February. I'm going to go out ski. Just going to ball on a budget.
Yeah.
Get the GMC Yukon SUV. Well, I kind of got to go because I got to pick Foster and his friend up from the airport. I'm going out because Tyler Grimm, my old roommate in grad school, whose Toyota Tacoma was one of the first cars we filmed for RCR. That was the one where I think I went Dixon, titties, and Dixon, titties, and Dixon, titties, and Dixon, Nixon, 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 Nixon. That was his car. So he's in the Air Force. He's just getting out. He'll be a lieutenant. So he's an officer. So he'll be living, I think, in Colorado Springs. So I'm going to go there ahead of everybody else, spend a day or two, get acclimated to the altitude with Tyler, get a few drinks, have a few laughs, and then drive up into the mountains, pick these guys up at the airport. It'll be easy for them. I'll probably have to drop them off at the main cabin, and then I got to go to like an Airbnb somewhere.
There are people who are saying that Denver Airport is nowhere near Denver either.
Yeah, it's south of the city.
Huh.
Yeah, which is the way I like it. Which means, it's like Philly. Philly Airport is not in Philly. It's in Philly. It's not in the city. It's by I-95. Yeah. And Denver Airport is well outside the metropolitan area. It's one of these good airports. I'll be happy to fly into it. We never did, but it's like it's got the interstate highway right there. So like you get to the airport and you're gone right away. It's not quite like LAX where you get the Lyft, you get the Uber, and then it's like 10 minutes trying to get out of the airport.
Yeah.
And then immediately you're on surface streets. We're going a distance of like 2 miles and it's a half-hour drive.
Yeah. That's the thing that I'm afraid of for New York Comic-Con, because I'm having some friends who are going up on Friday, and we're all having dinner in some restaurant, but it's in the garment district. And so I got to get there from where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to Uber, but I know I'm going to be walking the whole day, and I'm going to be dead by the end of it. And so I'm going to end up sitting in this Uber doing incremental progress along New York streets. It's just going to be no buys.
No. So yeah, Ben, Colorado this winter. Iced Inc. says, still interested in racing the hearse. Gonna be at my aunt's place in San Antonio this coming weekend. Really? I bumped the email earlier today. Oh, the hearse, the Walking Dead.
Yeah, the Walking Dead hearse. That was at the RCR Austin meet. Yeah.
I'm interested in driving it on the racetrack, Mr. Iced Inc. But your email, it reshuffled it.
Possibly a dumb question, but were the bullet holes on that real? Like, did they do, or did they just cosmetically
just put a railroad spike in,
like Homer Simpson making speed holes?
Oh, it bumped it to the bottom again. I suppose anything's possible. I don't think they would have shot the car, because if you shoot the car, the bullet's going in, and then you may be like,
no, not with like live rounds, but I mean like something that could penetrate.
Yeah, I don't think they really shot the car.
Yeah,
I think they either made a hole and like maybe the hole doesn't go anywhere inside the door. I don't know. We'll find out. Bumped the email earlier today. Yeah, I'll check the email. One of my coworkers bought a Subaru Justy. Nice. We wouldn't be able to film it on the track. I mean, we could probably take it around Harris Hill for a laugh. So yeah. I'm going to check my email after this. Andrew Horsley doesn't have a question, but thank you for the $2. Adler the Eagle, hey, says, help someone smile today. What are you doing giving me money? You already make YouTube money. What are you doing giving me $2? Thank you for the $2. YouTube's going to take a bit of that. Well, now I owe you a beer or something like that. Accept the compliment, Brian. Thank you. I had to read this whole article about when someone does something nice for you, say thank you. Don't deflect it. Don't minimalize it. Don't kick it right back at them. They're giving you a gift. Thank you, Adler, for $2. You flatter me.
All right, I have to power off my phone because it's doing the whole weak charging thing because I'm
Weird.
running things
Oh,
whilst
okay.
charging. I mean, I do have some questions screenshotted on there from the regular chat, but I'll turn my phone back on later.
While you're waiting for that, this is a question I believe that you could answer better.
Here's hoping. Is the RCR musical really not going to happen? Also, how are the Falcon and Red Betty doing? Love all you guys do. If RCR musical happens, I'm there. RCR MX happens, I'm there. So I guess that means RCR Mexico. Thank you so much for the $50, Ricardo. The RCR musical was a writing exercise that I did that I believe I might have told you about it, but it's I basically took the songs that I wrote for the RCR album and then some other original songs that I wrote for the like various reviews, just like original songs. So like if Heaven Were a K car or all this other stuff, that people are sort of like I realize I get better responses about the songs when they're original and people asking like when are you going to put something else out, and like I had to reiterate that like the musical is something that isn't going to happen just because like the story wouldn't really work. It's kind of like something that would be I don't know, it's just it's strange. But I don't know, like
I have to take a shit. I'm taking a shit now.
well, it's
I can't wait for the next time. And quote like waiting for Godot. The second one is not as sweet, but it's still sweet nonetheless.
I mean, it's different in the sense that a lot of it is sort of in jokes. Like one of them is one of the songs is called like "What Do These Pills Do," and it's a more like serious song that has like maybe a comedic, like it's a comedy, but like there are different. It's all set around Christmas, and then it's that has to do with sort of the ways that auto enthusiasts sort of approach Christmas. Like it's this weird thing because I realize that the good songs that I write, or at least the ones that I like, are all Christmas songs. Okay. So I'm just like, well, you make a Christmas musical, and then just different sort of things. But it's not something that I ever had the mind to like do anything with. It's just songwriting exercise, and then like a sort of regular writing exercise, you know, because I just that's what I do in my free time. Like that's what's fun for me. And the problem is that like I got to sit down to do it. So I got to like force myself to not do that, you know. It's strange, but you know, it could be stranger. I'm also like I also was on a huge Broadway musical kick. And so I'm like I can do this. Like I'm not really going to do it, but like if I were going to do it, this is what it would look like. And so I wrote like this whole treatment synopsis thing. And yeah, it was just it's there kind of for me to enjoy, I guess. In my mind. Because how do you even produce a musical?
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tom Clark did.
Yeah, he did.
But like how involved was he?
Don't know.
He's not in it. He's probably a producer.
He probably is a producer. I mean, I think it's kind of you start at like the local level and maybe you get like a buzz built around the show. I have no idea. It's like a regional thing, maybe.
Yeah. If I heat up a chocolate chip muffin, you want half of it?
I mean, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I know I'm going to the gym, so I'm just going to burn it off. And I've got 2 muffins, and they won't keep while I'm away. Anyway, so I'll answer these 2 ones. Looking at a job in Exton, PA. You guys ever been? I know. Speaking of Tom Clark, we have a Coventry, PA, and I think like the Exton Mall or the Coventry Mall is down there. I think that's where supposedly Mallrats 2 was going to be filmed in that mall.
Yeah, like the Exton Mall.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't know. Exton is like in the outer Philly sprawl. It's not really Philly. It's like I think that's Bucks County, PA, or is that Montgomery County, or maybe it's still Berks. I don't know. It's down there. You get 422, which is always a fuck show, and then there's like some nice back roads, and then you got Phoenixville, which is totally hip and cool. So Exton, PA is pretty cool. Phoenixville is a lot nicer, way more expensive. But yeah, that part of PA is pretty nice. It's definitely a little bit upscale, as opposed to like the Pennsylvania where we are now. Thank you for your donation. Eli Prince says, just wrote an essay based on one of your vids. Love you. Well, thank you. Hope your essay did very well.
Yeah.
Other people have done it. They said they got good grades because I guess our MLA citations verbally are good.
Hey.
Oh, I am kind of feeling that Muffy and another cup of coffee in the big time. Workforce 520 said that shoulder hit happened to me with a coworker once. Oh, fuck them. Like someone who doesn't get over that crap.
Yeah. Just feels like such an affront to
Yeah.
common decency.
You just gotta like HR, you gotta go up the ladder. Look, this guy is hitting me on purpose. He's gonna deny it, but this is what's happening. Thanks. Email sent.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of a Mustang question, could be a Nick question, but I also know the answer to this. Hey guys. There's another one. My son's gay. This is how I'm compensating. Hey guys, bought a 2016 Mustang GT, and I was wondering, any tips to help it survive a Boston winter? What's it doing being parked outside? Well, okay, it's a regular GT. Not to knock it. Ceramic coat, undercoat. I'm going to learn a little bit more about ceramic coating at the end of next week, I think, when I get back. I got some samples of the ceramic coat. I'll do the Falcon next week to see what it is. Undercoating. See, the thing about it, you're fighting rust. I mean, some people take the underside of the car and just coat it with old engine oil.
Yeah.
It's gonna get goddamn. I mean, there's not much you can do really. Just keep the car washed and wax it 4 times a year. You have to put something in between that moisture and the paint, and then underneath. I mean, you're speaking to the choir here. I mean, the real answer is make enough money to at least rent a garage to keep it from getting sprayed with salt and snow and everything. I mean, if it's going to be your daily, if you're parking it on the street, you're just going to have to forget about it. Just enjoy driving it. Accept that Mother Nature is going to do what it's going to do. Have your fun and stay safe. Really. Sorry. And thank you for your donation. I had to tell you the truth. Thermo Spokane 555 says, you guys coming to Europe anytime soon? Get a jack. And also get a jack. Future RCR trips is RCR Australia 2021, RCR Japan 2022. That's the plans. I can't see farther than 3 years ahead. So Europe will probably be Germany, because Autobahn, I just have to see it. We need a fixer for that anyway, and getting a fixer for Australia, honestly, is easier. Australia comes first because there's no language barrier, and we have 2 people already willing to help out for RCR Japan, but no fixers yet for RCR Germany. I'd have to check my email. Maybe there might be one.
If you want to do the thing, I could.
You could just scroll through the questions.
Yeah.
I don't know what this. It's Crazy Ivan 2 times. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Crazy Ivan 2 times. Any thoughts on joining Subscribe Star? I have no idea what that is. Does anyone know what that is? To be able to explain it to me or to us, because I have no idea what Subscribe Star is. But what I can tell you about is that Ford v Ferrari is only about a month away from release in theaters, and I'm basically as hyped for this movie as anything else, but also because of the significant amount of Oscar buzz it's getting. Strangely enough, in the acting categories, the buzz is not coming from Matt Damon or Christian Bale. It's mostly coming for Tracy Letts, who plays Henry Ford II, and in supporting actor. because a lot of this comes down to how they're going to campaign Christian Bale in the film, of whether he's going to be campaigned in lead or supporting. And the Academy loves doing this little thing called category fraud, where they put someone who's clearly a lead in supporting because they're not as high build a star as the person who is the actual supporting role. So, for instance, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Casey Affleck was nominated in supporting, even though he's the lead of that movie. But he was at the time basically nobody in comparison to Brad Pitt, who was the actual supporting actor in that movie. Or Haley Steinfeld in True Grit. She was nominated in supporting, even though she's the lead of that movie, because she's not more of a star than Jeff Bridges. You know, it's like, what are you going to do? And this is, yeah. But basically, the reason that I'm looking so forward to Ford v Ferrari is that I think a lot of it is that there haven't been that many good pure car movies lately. Like a lot of them are about the fetishization of cars.
Yeah.
So you get like car movies that are like the Fast and Furious type movies, and to a lesser extent Drive, because that was very, and Baby Driver.
Baby Driver.
You know, those are all fetishizing in a way cars. It fetishizes cars in a way that they can't be in real life, like without breaking the law.
Right.
Whereas I think Ford v Ferrari has the potential to be a movie that is about cars in a way that is comprehensible to the sort of normalized brain. You know, like you don't have to imagine laws being broken. You don't have to, and I know that it doesn't play into that fantasy dream of wanting to like peel out of the theater and do all this stunt driving, but I find those types of movies like far more interesting when it's just something that's more grounded, and I like more grounded films.
Yeah.
And for what it was, you know, a movie like Drive or a movie like Baby Driver was kind of sort of grounded in its own world, but not really grounded in ours, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what I'm looking so forward to with Ford v Ferrari, and also to see the performances, particularly John Bernthal as Lee Iacocca, just because like he's
nothing
not
like him.
He's not.
He doesn't have that. I mean, Lee Iacocca was Pennsylvania to the core, had that big potato face.
Yeah,
like that. Old guys. My dad's getting to do it a little bit. Well, which means I mean, you look at my dad's dad, and my face is just gonna get wider and wider until it's a circle.
It's just gonna be the face of Bo. It's just I mean, after a while, well, he also isn't doing like the Lehigh accent type thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's I can't really imagine. I don't know. It'll be an interesting performance, and it's probably a little more than a cameo. But it's like more than what we got of Iacocca and Watchmen. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting to me. So yeah, and I think Lee Iacocca led an interesting enough life, but not with an interesting enough end to constitute getting a movie of his own.
Yeah,
which is why I don't know.
Kind of like, well, I did a lot of good things. Now I retired.
Yeah, and so I feel like now he's the best that we're going to get is him being a background in other movies.
Yeah.
Of just like he's the Forrest Gump of like he's there when certain things happen.
Right.
When he was like way more important than that, but still, meh.
Joseph Jacobs says, been a fan since the RAV4 video. I feel bad for not donating earlier. Oh, I'm happy for anything you want to. I'm honored that you're doing it even now. Huge thanks for all the stuff you guys have put out. Well, thank you so much, Joseph. It makes me happy that you're doing that. Thank you for your donation. Glad we mean so much to you. Workforce 520. Hello, familiar face. I'm driving cross country from Georgia to LA was fun. My next is going to be Alaska. Oh, you're doing Alcan. You're doing up the Alaskan Canada highway. Up through British Columbia and all that. That's going to be, wow. Man. I mean, you're going to Anchorage, I'm guessing. Maybe on the Fairbanks. That's going to be nice, though. I hope everything goes well with you, with customs and all that fun stuff.
Joel K asks, hello, think a Saturn SI is a good first car to learn stick on?
Saturn SI. It's going to be sloppy, but yeah, it's fine. It's just a piece of GM cookie cutter nonsense. Yeah, grind the hell out of it. It'll be fine. It's not going to be precise. And then you'll get into a modern car and you're like, wow, this gear actually goes into it. It's one of those things where like those old Saturn gearboxes, you put it into first and then it just sort of flops around in all directions. Like the gear, it's still in first, but the gear shift, the bushings are so wide, it just flops all over the place. And you just learn by feel where it went in. Don't bother where that gear shift is now. It's where it began, is what gear you're in.
Any car that is not yours is the best to learn stick on.
Oh, yeah. Their clutch, their throwout bearing. Great. Driving cross country to Alaska. Workforce 520. I think I skipped over you. Any RCR Southern California trips coming up soon? I think the next logical thing that I'd be in SoCal for is if there's going to be a big party for Matt Farah's big garage. If he has like a welcoming party,
nice.
It'd be nice to like show up for that. He gave Regular Car Reviews a shout out in his Road and Track article about his million mile Lexus.
Good man.
Which also Adler the Eagle, if he's still in here, drove.
I still plan on eventually. Oh, sorry.
Oh, God.
No, I still plan on taking my personal trip to LA one of these months where I can like justify it. But it's kind of because I like LA a lot. Oh,
that's my reminder that the muffin's done.
I would have completely forgot about the muffin.
Yeah.
Because I really like the going to the Peterson and going on the tour, and I like the streets, and I like it's weird. I like touristy shit. It's so random to kind of not be into sort of the scenic, naturey stuff that people normally like to be into on their vacations. But for me, I'm an absolutely, completely lousily uncomplicated person. And so I just like simple things. Thank you. Yes. Very much.
Excuse me. It was kind of nutritious as a muffin, but fuck it. Muffins aren't good for you. They're just a donut in a different shape.
But muffins and tea. We're becoming more British as the days go on.
You call them digestives.
Those are those like cookies that are called biscuits.
I'm too American. I need someone's got a blow off valve out there. I need coffee to go with this.
Yeah. I'm rather good with my tea. For I can't imagine drinking anything else. That's fantastic. Anybody watch Carnival Row on Amazon? I mean, I remember reading the script for A Killing on Carnival Row like 12 years ago, or however long ago that script was written. And the TV show is in no way like the movie, but it's also so full of lore that it almost should have been a book instead of a TV show. But I digress.
In the big time.
I don't like paying lip service to nutrition. Crumbs. Getting the crumbs.
Precious carbs.
Yes. They help me burn energy. So it's said.
Tonight is going to be bench pressing and then the elliptical for 40 minutes. Should be good.
Well, I made the mistake of going to the gym before I came here, so I'm essentially undoing everything I did.
Are you coming here on an empty stomach, or did you?
No. I had a protein bar after. Well, protein shake.
Okay.
Like I made it at home. Actually drank it at home because I'm like, if I'm gonna bring it with, I'm not gonna have anywhere to throw it out, and I didn't want to come here. Hey, Brian, nice to see you. Here's trash. So because they recommend like putting in like after a workout a certain amount of like this protein mixture. Like it's in this big list that is on a sort of banner in my gym that recommends this like that's 2/3 this and 1/3 this, and then should be drinking this much water. Hence the,
Yeah.
but and I drink like I go through these like crazy. Which, I mean, part of it is being thirsty all the time because of the medication I'm on,
Okay.
but a lot of it is just I'm dead after a workout because I do the rowing machine for like 10 years. And at the end of that, like I can't take groceries in the house by the
Really?
time I'm done with. I'm just like
Mm.
my arms and my core,
Nice.
the pain. But I mean,
What are you doing for core?
the rowing machine, because like it engages I mean, I don't know that it engages the core, but it engages mine. But I and also I will occasionally do what are they called, the dips, the little thing that you're just like, and you're squeezing.
Yeah.
And then I'll do some like ab shit from like this chart that they have of like different exercise. So you can do like the Russian twist, and it's all like manual resistance or that type of thing. But I'm not really focused on the core because I'm not really trying to get like swole per se, or like necessarily. I don't know that losing weight is the goal, but it's just being in better shape. Because there are people who are bigger who are in good shape. I kind of think of someone like, I don't know, I was gonna say William Refrigerator Perry from like the 1980s, but I'm like, no, he was like kind of big even for a football player.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know, but yeah, I guess we'll see.
Cool.
What do you do for core?
Not much. I just do the Aber 9000 machine. This machine.
Yeah, we used to have that and we don't
sit.
anymore. They got rid of it. I think it's because people were hurting themselves, like using it incorrectly. Huh.
Oh, I zoomed in too much on my. No.
Ooh, do planks. That's a good suggestion.
Do planks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arms and then just.
I can do a plank. Oh, there it went. All right, I'm back again. I should do a plank on camera. We should time it.
Yes.
See what my base is. My base is cold.
I mean,
go
you
to the
won't be in
Peterson
frame.
with Nick. I lost my place because when I minimized the screen and did it up again. All right, so I lost about 20 super chats now.
How do you go back?
I can't scroll up anymore because I dad clicked and now I can't scroll up to the top. And there was like a $20 one in there. All right. Damn it.
Wait, maybe
there's Workforce 520. Oh, can we do it
on the regular chat?
Yeah.
Should be everything.
Okay. I didn't do that one yet.
Live chat. Audio chat. Yeah. Let's pop out the chat.
Scrolling up. Nope.
All right, hang on.
All right.
Manage. Toggle timestamps.
If I use my phone, will allow me to go to all stuff on all comments because it might show up there. My channel, community. No, it's not there. About, playlist. No, I can't get it on my phone. I can do it. I think if I open.
Whoops. I accidentally inserted an ad.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Well, while that's if it's playing an ad, here, let me have the keyboard.
Go for it.
All right. So if I go open a new window, go to YouTube, go to your channel, go to community. Nope, it's not there. do I get to them? How do I see all the past ones?
Yeah,
Let me know if people start shouting the answer in the comments.
Well, my phone is
Oh, okay. Well, then look at the
the
tablet.
Right. So
Liked videos, watched later. History. That's just going to be stuff I watched. Comments. Nope. Live chat. No, that's just me commenting on other people's live chats. Comments? No. Search history, watch history. Show more. No, that's just old playlists.
yeah, we've done this before where you can get to the,
Yeah.
It's just a matter of figuring out.
Maybe if I have to go to old YouTube Studio, Creator Studio Classic. And there it's under community. Super chat. All right. The most recent one, all live streams. Just this one. Okay. All right. Okay, there we are.
All right, cool.
All right. So SoCal, we got Hurricane Ian said bump that he said he bumped the 2017 Lamborghini Huracan 520-2, CL63 AMG, a Duramax, which we already did, Jaguar E-Pace. Oh, interesting. A few good JDM1 Kings too. Yes. Okay. You bumped the email. Very good. William Berzetsky, dear Mr. Regular, bless my new car. I just bought an Evo 10 GSR on the same week your episode was posted. Oh, very lovely. Keep up the great work. Best channel on YouTube. Oh, thank you so much. That was a generous donation. I'm glad you like it. You're going to have fun with that Evo 10, and it's going to be comfortable enough to drive around. Simon Trent 8000 says, ever making your way up north toward Maine? I want to hear Mr. R say, I'm the conductor of the poop train. I've never been to Maine. I would like to go to Maine. It's probably really great right now and not freaking 87 degrees or whatever it is today. Damn, it's hot.
Yeah, I know. I miss autumn.
Yeah. Autumn is getting smaller every year. That's almost a song, smaller every year. Then there's plenty of middle school humor to go with that. Andrew Horsley said, sorry I messed up my other super chat. Have some more money. I'd gladly take it. Thank you so much. You're very generous. I appreciate it. Anyway, which is the best? Chevy Suburban, Subaru Legacy Baja, or Ford Explorer Sport Track? Ford Explorer is out. Now you're comparing. What's that?
I say Suburban.
Yeah, I mean, your Suburban, you have an LS in that, usually, a Vortec. Subaru Legacy Baja is very cool if you want to win awards and be hip. But now you're comparing a large SUV to a station wagon with the back end chopped off. So what's it going to be? The Chevy Suburban is a clearly superior car to a Subaru Legacy Baja, unless you're trying to win the Gambler 900 or 500 or whatever that is. Yeah. Chevy Suburban is going to be the better one. It's a higher value car when it was built. That doesn't mean it's better. See also Mercedes, but Chevy Suburbans, all the parts are available. Subaru Legacies are a little bit weird, particularly that rear tailgate with the folding license plate that has to stay vertical. Joshua Sutterfield says, should I bother sending an email for a review if I'm a student splitting time between Ames and Chicago? Car is a 2001 Saturn SW2. You just put both of them in. Just say, I'm in Ames this time of year. I'm at Chicago this time of year. And that'll probably work. Joshua, that was your question.
Was it?
Isaac Flavley. Flavely?
Falvey.
Falvey?
Yeah.
Thank you. No question, but thank you so much for your generous donation. You just say, I love you guys. I love you too. Thanks. Chef Sato says, and thank you for your donation. Chef? Or is it chief?
No, chef.
That's great, but who are the chefs? Great
Mm.
googly moogly. That's a commercial that's lost on people. Gonna be a while? I think it's a Snickers commercial. You remember that one?
Yeah, gonna be a while.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you remember who are the chefs?
No.
It starred, I forget who the Chiefs are, and football team, and you
Oh.
see a guy painting the end zone to say Chiefs, but then the player comes by and says, "That's great, but who are the chefs?" And you paint out as chefs. I'm like, oh, gonna be a while. Anyway, would an electric bicycle be something you'd want to review? Yes. Probably not as fun as a gas moped, but I'm enjoying mine. Yeah, an electric assist bike. Be happy to do one. I think even Farah did one of those like $5,000 ones. Pretty nice. Actually, I was at a bike shop and I saw that some of these mountain bikes now are $6,000.
Damn.
Nuts. So yeah, year, make, model, city, state. I mean, it probably doesn't matter for a bicycle. Just put electric bicycle, city, state, and in the body of the email, put your name and then an email where I can reach you.
Want to know what I want to review because it's probably really stupid? Is one of those slingshots.
Yeah, Polaris slingshot.
Because there's one sitting at my local mall, and they're saying like $24,499, and I'm just like,
that's a lot for a 2-seater.
Yeah, and I'm just
no
thinking,
roof.
Yeah, I'm just like, you could get like a proper car, you know, with that. It's just strange to me.
The Polaris slingshot is filling the void, filling the dickhead, the rich, clueless dickhead who used to enjoy the Plymouth Prowler. Much love to the straight pipes, but I think that's the same kind of people who once bought the Plymouth Prowler that now buy the Polaris slingshot.
Yeah, but I've never seen a young person driving a Polaris slingshot. Whereas like you can see young people in the Prowler. Straight pipes is the whole proof of that.
Yeah. Jacob Kaczynski.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yajeski.
I'm
just basing it the second letter off of Joanna Yajeski.
Yeah.
Yajeczyk.
Can I get a vowel?
Yeah. I'm 18 and already have had 3 cars. One was a Lada. Nice. What's wrong with me? Nothing wrong with you. You just had 3 cars. Yeah, by the way, 18 is the minimal age of driving in Poland. It kind of like low key is in Pennsylvania because you're supposed to have your learner's permit for a year.
Yeah.
And you can't get your learner's permit now until you're 17?
Well,
or is it 16 still?
No, you get your learner's permit at 15. But you have to log 60 hours of a company. This is when I was a teenager, right?
Okay.
Which we were teenagers at different times. So right. It was like you had to have 60 hours with an adult, but like that always seemed like a system that was really easy to game. But even then, it's like if you don't log those hours, it's like you're probably not going to pass your driving test anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, there's no point in really gaming the system, you know? But I think they may have changed it. Like, I don't know necessarily the extent to which you need to, you know, maybe they changed the amount of answers you have to get right on like the written test before you get the permit. And then well, I mean, I know it's not a written test anymore. It's the freaking touch screen thing.
Right.
But I don't know. Like when my nephew reaches driving age, which is so obnoxiously close. That
how old is he?
He's 11. So
yeah,
that's kind of like I'm getting to that point where I'm gonna have to prepare for the possibility, and I want him to do it the way that like your dad had you do it, which was that like, okay, I know technically you can take your test now, but I'm making you do this for a year anyway.
Yeah.
So that you can drive in all weather conditions, and then you'll be ready. Because I just don't. It's not that I don't trust him; it's that I don't trust other people.
Yeah.
So it's if you can become a more reactive driver,
it's like you have to really be able to judge other drivers and know what they're going to do on this off ramp.
Yeah.
I mean, Reading is a pretty good slice of the country. You
Yeah.
have highways and back roads all in that highways, back roads, and city all in one place.
Yeah.
But um, Reading is pretty good about clearing the snow. As much as they say they're not, they are.
Yeah.
But when you get up here, you're going to be on. You may find yourself on roads that aren't plowed. And how is the car going to handle?
Yeah.
Workforce 520 says, "I'd love to go to the Peterson with you, Nick."
Oh, I would love to go to the Peterson with you. If I'm up there, I mean, if I go up on my personal LA trip one of these days, I'm going to make an announcement and just let people know. Um, I would love to, like, because I've met people in LA who I'd love to see again, people who I know are in LA who I haven't met in person, who I'd love to be able to, hang out with. And, maybe I'll run into Angela White out there. Who knows?
Who knows?
But 90% not. Yeah.
My daily upload says, "I got my full license at age 16, passed the road test, and honestly didn't really know how to drive until I was 17. I never practiced driving." Yikes.
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 I mean, I almost feel like they should kind of bump the age up, which is kind of it ruins high school life for everybody.
yeah.
But it's to the point where I'm sick of going on Facebook and seeing like some other like preventable teenage crash
Right.
on my feed, and somebody who has to like bury a kid now all because of some nonsense. But
Yeah.
now, granted, I don't want to extrapolate and say that like all teenagers are going to be inherently irresponsible about this, because there are some teenagers who are way more responsible about driving than a lot of adults. But
Yeah.
it's still something that kind of gets me sketchy, because maybe you don't have the same situational awareness that you would have if you were just even 18 months older than
Yeah.
you were when you got the license, had that little bit more of experience with someone, older sitting by your side, just
True.
helping you along. I don't know.
Jacob says, "It's midnight around here, going to bed." And someone I think from Japan says, "Good morning. It's 7 a.m. in Tokyo." Love you guys. My question is, Millvale Neon when? Well, the Millvale Neon got into an accident, so we were never able to finish it. So now we need to find another first gen Neon to just have our
Stitch it together.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm still going to use that footage.
Yeah, kind of like we did with the Nano,
Yeah.
where that one just sort of like
Yeah.
we still got a video out of that.
Oh, Andrew Horsley said from earlier, "I'm embarrassed. I meant Chevy Avalanche," and my answer is still Chevy,
Yeah.
because that's Chevy Avalanches are available with LS engines, and there are people who tune the heck out of those. So yeah, Chevy Avalanche. I mean, if interior matters a lot to you, see, the thing about mid 2000s Subaru's interior beats out Chevy's interior in nearly every segment, including really the Cadillacs. But the thing about the Baja is it's only a four-seater, even though it's a four-door. It doesn't have uh, a third seat in the back. It's only two seats in the back, and it has like a center plastic, like where the middle seat would be in the back. There's another console, like a lift-up console, like in the front. So why did they do that? My guess is because they couldn't have a proper headrest, because they turned it into a pickup truck in the back. So the third passenger doesn't have whiplash protection. Doesn't have that little headrest there. So I think legally they couldn't have a seat there. So they just put a center console to keep people from sitting there. Yeah. And that's a weird thing, like you would forget about, because it's a four-door, and then suddenly four people show up and you need to squeeze in. You're like, oh, right.
Yeah.
So that person's going to probably have to sit on that console or something like that.
Any other questions we missed?
Super chats?
Yeah.
I just answered those two.
Yeah, I don't think
there just came
were others. In the comments, if we've missed any, please let us know. We like to get to absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
But in 2 weeks, I'm going to be at Richmond Cars and Coffee. So like not this coming Saturday or the next one, but the Saturday after that. And I don't know. I always love going there because there's always a very wide variety for such a small space.
True.
You got like MGs, and you got like, a wall of Ford Focuses and Subaru Bajas, and it's
Yeah.
such a nice, relaxing community. And for some reason, there's always like a shitload of um, just boomers there, but they're all like the nice kind that are all that aren't in
They're
looking to
not
blame you for things.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to think of like a time that I've gone where the weather wasn't perfect, and now I've probably jinxed myself, but still, I love going there. And Sarah might go there with the lewd.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Um,
So let's see. Tomorrow I pre-pack. I also go to the gym. I eat my last muffin. Uh the point of view video is done for the GTR. Next week is the Tale of the Dale, and then the week after that is done. It's uploaded, but it's not scheduled yet. I can do that, I guess, when I get back home from the gym.
yeah.
And I guess we got to write at some point next week.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the week after. Let me go check the schedule. 1 sec.
Schedule checking, doing things. But yeah. Huh. Let me see how far along my phone is in the charging.
Next is. Oops.
Oop.
The week after next is a motorcycle again, which I'm gonna write solely. So honestly, I could do that tomorrow.
Yeah, and then
because I could just go to the cafe myself and just write that out.
And I still have to do my solo review, the car that I did from the 90s.
Yeah.
So that's like another one.
But am I too amped up? Do I really want to write tomorrow? I mean, we're far enough ahead. I mean, I can do it. I'll do it on the plane.
It says people who never do it on the plane.
There's nothing to do. Somehow, it's like you're half dumb on the plane anyway, because you're at altitude, and now I'm buying drinks.
Yeah.
I'm going to be with Tony, so I'm going to be yucking it up the whole way.
Yeah. I'm just putting cold water in this to cut through the blinding heat of this tea. I'm watering it down, and I don't even care.
I had this one drink I called, did I call it the disaster, or did I call it, no, the abomination? And all it was I don't have enough tea or coffee, but I have a little bit of both. And when our powers when our powers combine, I am horrific. It's like, this is not fun. These things never mix. They never do. And I'm like, one has a little bit of caffeine and the other has a lot. So let's do this piece. I got to stay up. Leo says, thank you for your donation. I wanted to say I love you guys. I love you too, Leo.
Love you too.
RCR has given me so many laughs and so much wisdom over the years. I still listen to RCR reruns every day. Beers on me. Thank you, Leo. Beers on me. I will be spent in Austin this Friday. Flying in midday Friday. Oh, is that Nugget? Is our Nugget? Is that like Harris Hill Nugget? You might have noticed, but your brain did.
Plinkett quote.
May have not noticed, but your brain did. Is that our Nugget? Is that Nugget? Is Monica there? Yep, there he is.
Hey.
Okay, Nugget, did you see, like last time, I have a real helmet now, so I'm all ready for Sunday. I got Sunday sponsored helmet. Awry. Oh, Monica's here too. Both Monica and Nugget are both watching it, but they're clearly on separate devices because they have both their usernames there. All right, so people in the chat, you see Nugget appear there, and then you see Equiraptor. That's Monica. She was the one who you saw do the lap time in the food truck. And Nugget, you saw, I think we were Nugget's best line was what did he call the Nissan Altima rental car that we took around that Tony had? The word he used, he was driving it and he said, oh, what did he call it? Did he call it, this car it wasn't pitiful, it wasn't reprehensible. He called it, what did he call it? An embarrassment, because like you couldn't take the traction control off of the thing, and Nugget is driving that car like 80 miles an hour, just wrenching the wheel back and forth, and then like it won't let you do anything. It's like, I think he just called it terrible. Like there was no redeeming qualities to that vehicle at all. So yeah, that'll be Sunday. It'll be myself, Tony Airlines, and Bryce Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see who is the better student. Myself, who's done this before but is deathly afraid of speed. Tony, who's done it only once before but is a pilot and he has a phlegmatic mind and it just adapts to everything. He's a sponge. He just picks it up. Or Bryce Johnson, who's never been in a race car, never been on a track before, but he's a Kiwi and knows the Rumataka Pass, has driven it many times. He's like the wild card. He did that in his tradie Toyota pickup truck and a bunch of other things. And he probably doesn't have a whole lot of fear about driving fast. So it's going to be interesting who's going to be the better one.
That question keeps repeating in the chat about regarding the RX-7 FB review. Did you like the car at all? I really couldn't tell from the review.
Did I like it? You see, the pause kind of answered the question. I enjoyed the sound it made. I enjoyed how it looked. It was enjoyable because it wasn't mine. I would never want to own a classic rotary. I would not want to search and search and search for a mechanic who knows how to work on Wankel engines. There is no real performance gains out of an RX-7 versus an equivalent Celica. They're both carbureted. They both rev pretty fast. They're both very fun. Yes, the RX-7 will be smoother, and that's about all it has going for it. Maybe because I'm neither a fan nor a detractor from Wankel engines. I'm glad they're around. They're a very curious piece of technology. But I don't get hard over them. And if they disappeared, I wouldn't shed a tear.
Yeah.
I'd maybe feel sorry that the knowledge that surrounds them goes away. But if you're asking, did I enjoy driving the car? Yes, I enjoyed driving the car. But I would have a hard time thinking about it from a financial standpoint. You have to really be committed to keeping a Wankel on the road to be able to enjoy it. Now, at the same time, my Ford Falcon is very uncomfortable. It's loud, doesn't get great gas mileage, and a V6 Camry will wipe the floor with it. But there is the aesthetic to driving an older car. And when all those powers combine, a smile appears on your face. Yeah. It's just that an RX-7 is not my flavor of Ben and Jerry's. And that's fine. But I did like how it looked. I did like the pop-up headlights. I found the steering and the gear shifter to be wonderful. But when I decide if I like a car, it's as Nick says, do I want it? No, I don't want this car. Yeah. But it was a lovely taste test. So, I mean, that's my honest answer of it.
And I think in a general sense, if you like a car, it really comes across in the video. Like it's not really ambiguous,
Mm-hmm.
It could be, but for the most part, it's not.
Carl Nutt says that did I just make a meme by accident? You mean me going? Nah, 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 nah. It's hard for me to say that word without. Foster just sent me an old GIF of him drunk, like that college drunk, that college drunk where you're like a flash dance.
Where do people get gifts of themselves drunk?
Well,
I mean,
he's younger, so his friends have when everything's filmed. It's like, yeah, that is. I'm of legal age, you know. It's that he's a maniac. Smirnoff Ice is my favorite drink again.
Michael Sambello type beat.
Yeah. I'm never going to bed. College. So, Juliet Johnson, they're down in Texas right now. Talk about a flight. They flew from Wellington to get, they're in Texas now. But here's how they got there. 4 a.m. rise for like a 6 a.m. flight from Wellington over to Sydney, Australia. Right?
Yeah.
And then from there, they got on the Dreamliner and LA.
Oh.
Sydney to Los Angeles. But instead of taking the LA day where you just recombobulate, they stayed in LAX and did another 3 hours and 45 minutes on like I sent the picture of the plane they got on to Tony, and he said that's an Embraer 175, and I'm like, fuck. That's below a 900. A 900 is above the 700, above the 200. Like an Embraer 175 is like that plane that we took from Chicago to Harrisburg to Chicago. There's a first class, but so what? Yeah.
Negligible.
The entire plane is just do you remember that kid's toy? There were two versions of it. They were the fake space guns. One of them had that little wheel inside that made sparks, but only inside the gun.
Yeah.
There was that. And then there was the other one that had like the police siren in it.
Yeah.
But it didn't have batteries. It just had that little
thing. It's almost like a kazoo type thing of just self-propelling racket.
So when those powers combine, you get that's the Embraer 175. It's just a cacophony of metal on metal and wind.
All over creation.
So they're right now. Today's their first day down in Texas, and they just said we're going to a gun range, and I just said Texas bang bang, and then she sent me a sticker of a gun because you can't have guns now on anything. Like the gun, but you can. But with Telegram, you can download emojis onto it.
Yeah.
So you can still do it. So that's what she sent. Okay.
So I think we got to all the questions.
Yeah, I think that's a podcast.
Yeah. Well, we won't be here next week because you're going to be gone and I'm going to be editing things. So the week after that, it's going to be nice.
Oh, the weather's going to be nice.
Oh, no. It'll be RCR podcast number 69.
Oh.
That's why this one's called Almost Nice.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I'm 12. But yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
We got to do something special.
We do. Maybe
we
do it
like
on like a Friday
or something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we'll think about it. But for now, we are on Spotify and just wherever else you get podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict. Gonna try to get back on Google Podcasts after this. So until next time, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast. Can't do any of this without you. Thank you so much for your donations and your super chats and your regular chats and just your presence in general. Thank you. Until next time, I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
Have a great one, everyone.
Okay. Zoom, stop recording.
Noise.
You know, I did like a questionnaire from this one person who I was on a webinar. It's been forever since I did one of those. And it was just like a survey thing. And then they said they'd PayPal me some money for like, we need YouTubers to have like your opinion on audio gear. It was like a product survey. It was kind of neat. It lasted like an hour. But so they just listed like audio products from like, it was research for like an audio company that said, what are your needs? And I'm like, well, it's kind of, but I did say it'd be nice if every single one of these pots had their own potentiometer. Like I could see what levels we're on. And if you had like a mixer that just had an SD card in it that just would record whatever's coming into it, which would be nice because then it'd be one less thing I'd have to have there. Yeah. Anyway, this is like after it, but I got to shut her down. So, yep. Have a good night, guys.